Alrighty. Good day to you and to me. Don't know who else. This is Tyler Talks. Tyler Rambles. Was it today, Monday? Yeah, podcast tomorrow. I got a crazy host on the podcast tomorrow, so make sure you listen to Threshing Floor. All right, what do we got today? This is the deck I was hinting about to Hendrix, where I said I'm going to try to drop a video tomorrow, and it would be it'd be a fun one for him. And we'll show you all that in a sec. So, little defense I've been toying around with. I think I posted this in Discord as well. It's just a slightly smaller version, no necromancer. I always like having a target for the deceiver, but couldn't fit everything. Instead of a deceiver target, I've been playing a lot with Mist, and I showed that, like I said, a larger version of this defense with like DOU and confusion. I think that's really good, but can't fit everything. And there was a little bit more pale green, like you could have the serpent, confusion, DOU. It's really, really good. So I talked about Mist last time, just bring it up again. People in general, there's only so much you can do about Red Dragon with negates. Like you have commonly played like Plague of Frogs, Love One Another, and then you just try to like Great Commission and interrupt them, negate and discard them. But you can negate all that stuff with, did God really say, blindness, blasphemies. If you play Chronicles or Woes, you can negate everything, and he's really hard to get around once, let alone twice. So I use Mist. So underdeck an evil character or evil enhancement from each discard pile. Just a really good card in general. I think this will start seeing more play. You got to give your opponent something, but that's okay. You can give your opponent back a character that's not that hard to deal with. If you've run Confusion, and we saw 7 Suicidal Swine Stampede, being able to get back a massive battle winner is really good. So, but I use this mostly just to get back Red Dragon. So the opponent has to get around Red Dragon twice, and sucks for you. That's hard to do. Plus I had to battle and all that. So I already went over this defense before. I won't do it too much. There's just a lot of drawing and searching right now. So Judean Mediums to Red Dragon is really good. I have Terrifying Beast, just to hit the territory class characters, or just I usually don't go for the character in battle, to be honest, but let's see. So that's the offense, nothing too crazy. Or the defense. Offensively, it's a banding deck, and it's got protection, but what we do is Menace is pretty much always a hero, and what we do is either Joshua or Jehu comes in and has temple spears on them and protect royal heroes from harm. If used by an Old Testament priest, it may ban to a red warrior. If used by a red warrior, you may bounce an evil character. I really care about the protection, so they come in, Joshua and Jehu. One of them has temple spears. They usually exchange them to each other. Like I'd put spears on Jehu because Joshua is already a target for the opponent to get rid of. So I try to put spears on Jehu, or temple spears. Exchange to Joshua. Jehu exchanges to Joshua. Royal heroes are protected from harm, and then Joshua comes in, and I just start going crazy with the band, where royalty is protected. And yeah, I only have 3 royalty heroes in here. So it's not like a massive protected ban, but it's still a lot for the opponent to get around in general. This is very similar to Blood and Fire, Derek's deck. And I want to either have Derek on or have his deck list, if he's okay with it, and showcase his deck as well. He's been doing really well with it. He's made a couple tweaks. We've been talking about it, and I think it's a really good deck. So this was not my take on it. It's something I had, and I was like, oh, that's kind of similar to Blood and Fire. But anyway, so we exchange to our priests and kings, and the kings are protected. We pretty much always end with Jehoshaphat to Jeremiah. And we have obviously a lot of banders here that are mostly CBI, CBN. That's really nice. Solgen, Jehoiada to grab in for more potential protection. And we do have Noah for one of two reasons. He's always nice to flip into battle, but it gives us another gold hero, because what this deck wants to do is just keep attacking you with either Jeremiah or Noah. And I just gotta hit you with First Sacrifice, Teaching of Parables, and I usually do it again with Coming Prince. There's not really much you can do about that. And I just get rid of your CBN enhancement or CBP, and then I just come in with Jeremiah, and you just have to keep tossing enhancements and get around protection. So it really doesn't take much. Like these 3 cards, I have a tough time not kind of forcing them into every offense right now because of the extremely high value you get. You get the hand look, then you get to manipulate their hand for any evil card. It's very hard for the opponent to get around that in general. So the last little thing, because John Hendricks is going to be like, how in the world, like, why would he like this deck? It has nothing to do with Johnny Boy. So what we do, I'm saying we don't have a lot of royalty. We have a few, like Manessa, David, and Jehoshaphat are going to be protected. So we can end the battle with Jehu as well, and he can be protected. That's fine. We just don't exchange, and we keep him in there if we want another protected hero. The last thing we do, and I know this is kind of quote unquote like a cute play or considered a win more. One, I thought it was funny, and 2, it helps for Jehoshaphat. But the last card of my reserve, dun dun dun, Royal Priesthood, which we easily get with both Storehouse and Emmaus Road because it's a star card. So it's just so easy to grab. You just get Royal Priesthood, and you can place on your Noah and make him King Noah. So now he's a priest and a king. Jehoshaphat bands to a priest. So you can put Royal Priesthood on Noah, and you can just constantly go in. And you can bounce him too with Jehoshaphat. You bounce, you play him right back down, you put Royal Priesthood on him, you rinse and repeat. And Jehoshaphat now bands to him. But Noah's also protected. Or since you're constantly ending with Jeremiah, I actually tend to, and the Jehoshaphat bounce is really nice because I can manipulate how I want, especially the hand look, Jeremiah, teaching First Sacrifice, Coming Prince to recur one of the teaching and First Sacrifice to get another hand look, and Mighty Men, another hand look. So constantly looking at the opponent's hand, and you get to see what you want to end the band with. And usually I put Royal Priesthood on Jeremiah, and now he's King Jeremiah, and he is also protected from harm. So yes, it's like a win more. It's kind of fun. It's just really, really strong when you have a protected toss at the end of a band. Like that's extremely strong. Storehouse is usually my only way to shields, I believe. Yeah, because I don't have Jotham in here. So I have to use Storehouse to get the shields, but that's just another layer on the band. And usually shields will go on Zadok or Phineas, who's ever starting. Like Jehu can't exchange to the kings. He has to exchange to a non-royal. So then I go to the priests. Ideally, it's Doesn't matter if it's Zadok or Phineas, because they're just gonna band to each other and continue the band. So as we get to regionals, I've been talking on this channel a lot about fine tuning decks. This deck is at 51, and I would like it to be at 50. It probably doesn't need Great White Throne. I do like the force opponent to withdraw. Like if they do like a Sadducee or a Pharisee band, whatever, and they bring in their big dudes, I just take out an evil card in my territory, and then I just keep their Sadducees in there or something like that. So I do like Great White Throne. I love Great White Throne with Herod's Temple, to where you have Herod's Temple out, and then the opponent bans, and then you use Great White Throne and withdraw all but one. You leave their little guy in there, and then you just boom, Herod's Temple. You make it into a toss. So that's a good play. This deck sets up really quick. And as we talk about fine tuning, know what you want to accomplish in your deck, whether it's offensively or defensively. It should be both. Know what you want to accomplish and what does it take for you to accomplish what you're doing. Whether that's, I talked about Simon Spam last week, and what else did I show? Once Upon a Time, and Tyler Talks, but it was the Chad's Zion deck, which is incredibly strong. But with both of those decks, there's a game state that I'm trying to get. So make sure that that you know what you're trying to accomplish and how you'll get there. So for example, like I want to get out my heroes and get ways to get to my heroes, essentially. So Offering Your Son probably doesn't need to be in here, but it lets me go to Covenant with David, which lets me go to Zion our Throne. So it's good to have. I could always Jehoshaphat bounce and then play Covenant with David for Zion Unity. So no, I have David's Descendant as well, but we're trying to get down to 50. So Offering Your Son doesn't really have any targets. Like that's Revelation, that's Mark. And then I can go to Blindness, but Blasphemies also goes to Blindness. So it's nice to be able to go to a quote unquote battle winner and Cov David. But when we're talking about getting down to 50 cards and I want Hopper in here for more soul gen, that's probably what I would do. Cut Offering Your Son. And I feel like I have enough ways to heroes. So I would cut Offering Your Son and Great White Throne to get to get down to 49 cards and then add Hopper for 50. The only other thing I like having 2 targets for delivered, because there's so many times where I draw into a Denarius just naturally. And then I literally have essentially a dead card unless I hit the star. It's really nice, but other than that, it's pretty much a dead card. So that's what we try to look at when you already have you're getting to that fine tune staging. Look what you're trying to accomplish. Make sure you have enough ways to get what you're trying to accomplish, which for this deck, we are pretty much trying to get to heroes and banding in our protection cards. And in order to do that, we pretty much just have to have Solomon's Dream to get to Temple or Crowd's Choice. A little bit of extra speed, but it's not too hard to get. We have other strong pieces, and we also want to have strong first turn attacks. This does just banding in general is good. Emmaus Road, being able to go to Solomon's Dream and having Royal Parade is also good. I would argue David's Harp should probably be here instead of Great White Throne, and then Offering Your Son can get it. So, but all that comes through testing. Just know like what you want to do And then I would, because David's Harp could go to Covenant with David and Royal Parade. And then I probably, as much as I hate to say it, probably drop Royal Priesthood for like another musical enhancement. But rambling on, the long story short is make sure you have ways to cards in your deck that you're trying to get to and know, okay, what ultimately what works and what doesn't work in my deck. As much as I want more heroes with Great White Throne, and I like the withdraw all, I'm big and I'm protected. I don't necessarily care to withdraw all. I want to kill everyone in battle. So this Great White Throne would probably turn into David's Harp. But quit rambling about that. Soul Gen. So I'm big on Soul Gen that you can get to, like when you need to get it, or just having enough in general. That's why I do want Hopper in here, but because we only have Covet, Mayhem, and Captive Priest. So I like having 3 Soul Gen pieces. I think that's good, but Confusion of Mind, Babel, and he's negated. Covet, negate neutrals, that can be negated. And then Mayhem is a draw 6, so that's pretty good one for Soul Gen. I do consider Mayhem Soul Gen, so that's not bad. So yeah, I would want to bring in, like I keep saying, a Hopper. So look at your decks when you're done building them and make sure you could A, get to Soul Gen, and B, have enough Soul Gen. I always like having a quote unquote like Soul Gen, like a trigger waiting. For example, like I have to draw into these, but I can easily get Mayhem or wait and then use Mayhem. Covet, I have to draw into. It's kind of hard to really do that any other way. The opponent would have to play it. So the opponent would have to take Covet from your deck and play it. So definitely have pieces that you can go to. Like if you have Majestic Heavens in main deck, you could always just put a Lost Soul there into Majestic Heavens and create a token. It looks like there's a lot of Sadducee defenses that are hiding their souls. I think Orphans is going to see more and more play. Like by the time Nationals comes around, your Orphans is going to be probably a main deck if you're not hiding souls. I do not have Sheol in here. I do not have DOU. I don't have anything that hits souls. So there's no reason for me not to play Orphans. And that really hurts the hiding, but I'm not seeing a lot of Orphan souls being played. But it seems like there's a good bit of Sadducee try to be chump defenses, but they can still block. So keep that in mind. Know the meta. We talk about that a lot. Understand the meta. Can you get around it? Have Soul Gen. There's so many times where, especially I play a little bit more aggressive when I'm attacking, and I'm get to look at your hand. If I don't have Soul Gen, then what's it matter? So we're gonna do a quick Goldfish, and Protected Priest and Musicians is what this originally was, and it turned into something completely different. And let's see. So boom, another hand looker. And we see if we're gonna search, that's why I like another delivered target. If we're gonna search, like, are we gonna use Noah's ability and Noah's star ability? Because if I'm gonna top deck a good fortress from deck, that's great, but I'm just gonna put down Zadok and play Emmaus Road. So this star ability would just kind of waste time. If the opponent won, so let's roll for the opponent, and the opponent, no. Okay, the opponent got a 2. and I got a 6. So we decide, if I look at their hand, and you have to show all your stars at the same time and activate them. So either way, you can top deck a good fortress. If you look at their hand and see you can just walk in and win the battle without using Emmaus Road to do whatever, then you would want to top deck your storehouse or Throne of David and just go from there. I always like going into my deck for more things. So, or if you know you can block because you don't have souls and you actually want to let the opponent go first, seeing their hand, it's like, okay, well, I know there's only so much they can do first turn. They don't have a massive advantage, and I immediately go into a storehouse or a Throne of David, then that's fine. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to say they can go first, which usually is like the worst thing you can do, apparently, in Redemption, is to not go first. But that's fine. So we would top deck storehouse, put this down, and they would go. And if they can't generate souls, we would essentially, and we would see their hand, but we'd essentially allow the opponent to, oh my gosh, go first. Okay, lackey, calm down. If you see their hand and you decide that they can go first, knowing that you don't have souls, you get your storehouse out right away or whatever, you get your star abilities going, and you get the draw 3 knowing they can't rescue. It's actually a huge advantage for you. So keep that in mind. That's why I love hand looks. All right, so we drew every lost soul pretty much. So we would use covet, and we get a boom. We'd get a boom, and then we got prosperity. And what do we want to discard to draw? We do have Denarius to go to Emperor, so we would have Terrifying Beast to Emperor. But that's not like, don't have to have that. And we have Divining Damsel to draw. And we have Judean that can ban to both Damsel and Terrifying. But I also have Zion in my hand. Yeah, it works with King Jehu. It's a tough one to do. I'm telling you, this O is tough because you build your decks and they're so like perfectly fine-tuned that when you draw, every card in your deck matters. That you don't want to get rid of anything. All right. I like Beast to Emperor. That's another hand look and a draw. Tyler's crazy. He's gonna discard a draw ability to get a draw ability. Okay, so and now this is our first turn. So we had no stars. Go straight into soul abilities and just mentally check stars, souls, upkeep. Don't even put anything down yet, or else your upkeep's over. It's our first turn. We don't have anything for upkeep. And then you got to understand, all right, what am I doing? What do I need to do? What am I trying to accomplish before I just start throwing everything down? Because I could easily throw down Zadok with Emmaus Road, and now I lose my Zion Unity. So before you just start getting handsy, know what you're going to do. So now we have Unity, Royalty. So we could play Zion as a site. Darkness, Lost Soul is in here. That's really good for me to go to Jehu or Manessa first turn to go to my Zion to have the Unity. So now we can take a hero from deck or discard pile. So I cannot look at my hand because I already did this. So what you're supposed to do is you look at your hands first, make sure, okay, and knowing your deck, what hero do I need? And I'm going to go through, and you don't want to be the cause of a slow game. That doesn't mean you want to rush through. But the quicker you go, the more chances you're giving yourself, more chances at a potential for another turn. And sometimes that's all it takes to win the game, that last turn. So I was watching the Iowa State tournament, and Jaden won in the last turn. And Gabe came over and ruled the same way that I really like to rule, where, hey, if you guys kind of hurry up, you can get that last round in. And he did it for everyone. And he'll say, hey, if you guys can hurry up, we'll get you to another round, because A, you got to stick on schedule, but B, we all know how long turns can take and just rounds in general. So you say there's one more round left and there was 20 minutes left of the game. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, they said we had another round and now you're 30 minutes behind schedule. So don't get mad at people when judges say that. Anyway, we haven't taken anyone for Zion. And we don't really know who to take. Jeremiah is really easy to get with both Emmaus Road and Faith, and I know I have Emmaus Road in my hand, so I could also Emmaus Road into Delivered into Great White Throne, so which is what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna get Jeremiah regardless, and I want to be able to ban the Jeremiah, so I would take out Jehoshaphat. And now when you have a site, yeah, it's purple, but a lot of people are going like Matthew and Simon and Bart and stuff like that, to where they're flipping the clay. Not a ton of people are playing with purple heroes, so just keep that in mind, that you do want to place Distressed or Punisher, souls that have value for the whole game, potentially, until they're negated or rescued. But you want to put the souls that you want out there to stay out in your site if you had it. So don't miss that, like placing souls in sites. And then now the opponent knows we have Jehoshaphat, so that's fine, but we can keep using Jehu, and we can snag Throne. That can go to hand. We don't need to place Throne of David down right away, because it does literally nothing this turn. And then the only other, go to Denarius, go to an Emperor. We are going to play the Emperor. I'm going to go ahead and pop Denarius, and yeah, drew into Faith. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not just a I'm not just a draw guy, people. There's more to me than that. You want to have in your deck, like I said, a lot of ways to get to and generate resources. You never want to be in a game and just feel like you're out of the game because your opponent is to where your opponent is generating more resources. So anyway, always make sure you have enough resources. And I guess people would ask, like, how much is enough? And if we went back to like the deck and saw like the breakdown of good enhancements, and then we would see how many of these enhancements are like searching, and how many are drawing, and how many are battle winning. You kind of see like not an equal breakdown. This could be a battle winner. Battle winner, I kind of consider that a battle winner. It's a bounce and a protect. So I play a lot of the same ratios, pretty much 10 heroes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I use Jehu and Manessa. So there's 11 heroes main deck and 1 in reserve. So I could actually cut a hero in general. And I usually use 10 heroes, main deck, 7 good enhancements. And then I kind of split them up between, it's probably going to be like 4 of my good enhancements are search or draw. One of them being like a hybrid search, draw, battle winner. And then the other 2 or 3 are battle winners. Anyway, okay. So we don't want to put Jehoshaphat down as meek. We do have our weapon, so we are going to have a protected Jehoshaphat to Jeremiah. We kind of want more than that, though. I mean, not that I think we need it, but we can now play Jeremiah in Emmaus Road and go to David as a star ability. Oop, and that goes back into deck and gets shuffled. And we're gonna ban 2 Jehoshaphat, but we need a meek hero for Solomon's Dream. And this deck doesn't look like it's fast by any means, but here we are blowing through the deck, getting everything we want. So many people have asked, I've shared this deck, and a lot of people have asked me, like, what's your first turn attack? And I was like a 5 hero band that's protected. Like, and people just weren't really sure, like, how do you get to a 5 hero band that quickly? So we get to take any good card we want. It's really not like, I don't need to take anything, you know? So I would take Royal Parade here. And we're good to go. So now we have our band. We're going to put down our heroes first just to make sure, to kind of see what we're going to do. I just realized I'm exchanging to a non-royalty to give them protection. And I didn't grab Joshua because I didn't realize it. So we won't have protection first turn. Whoopsies. And all I had to do was just realize that. And Solomon's Dream would have been Joshua. So it would have been Jehu to Joshua. So we won't have the exchange. And that's where I haven't played this deck before. I've just kind of goldfished it. I created it, goldfished it, and that was it. And if you don't know, I'm an idiot. Thanks, guys. If you don't, Old Testament Green Prophet. Let's see. I think I can get there with this. I'll think about that in a second. But if you don't know your deck, you're prone to misplays because you're not really sure what you're doing, especially when you can't look at your hand in between searches like so many people are used to. Don't create bad habits. So now put your heroes down because we're gonna have to see, like Zadok, like Jehoshaphat can go to Zadok, right? And then Zadok can ban to Jeremiah as well, but we can't get the Temple Spears in here. What we can do is bounce Jehu. Like we can do this band, David, Jehoshaphat, Zadok to Jeremiah, and bounce Jehu. We have Angel of the Lord. We have a toss first turn. We already looked at their hand. We have a Royal Parade. We know we're going to win this. So do we need to bounce Jehu? So we will, just in case, so we don't make that mistake, because I could always have Temple Spear on Zadok. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It's nice, though, to bounce Jehu. It's nice because if Jehu uses an Old Testament enhancement, opponent must discard an evil card from hand or territory. So I just come in and do a Jehu exchange, and Jeremiah with First Sacrifice teaching parables. You see how the offense all comes together. I now just made you discard a card, evil card from hand or territory for free. I more than likely reserved or underdecked something in your hand, and then Jeremiah made you toss. So I just rinse and repeat with Jehu. I just messed that one up first turn because I did not know my deck. So either way, we would have known that we were going to win the soul there, but not being able to hit. Honestly, what I would have done, like tournament play, had I already screwed that up, I would have just done Jehu exchange to Zadok to Jeremiah, because I want to make sure on first turn they don't have an evil card out in territory. they have to discard an evil card from hand, and then I would hit them with Jeremiah, knowing that that's all I need is Zadok to Jeremiah with Royal Parade, if they had anything. So that would be my rescue first turn, actually, would be Jehu, Temple Spears, Zadok, Jeremiah. They had to toss if they blocked, and they had to discard a card from hand. We want Throne of David out now that it's the end of our turn. It didn't do anything for us in battle, so we could put Throne of David down. And we're in a really good spot. We have heroes everywhere, storehouse to start generating resources from reserve, and we can immediately put more hand pressure on them, and Throne of David to start popping out more heroes as we want. So, and we have a good block. So Terrifying Beast to Emperor Nero if they attack, make them discard a card from hand or give them special initiative and get around Nero. And we'll say they did. We'll give it to them. Okay. So remember, stars, nothing. Souls, nothing. Upkeep. Immediately go to upkeep, and both Storehouse and Throne of David are upkeep triggers. So if you may take a good king from deck. If you do not, you may look at the top X, which is 3. Could be 4 when I get a King Noah or King Jeremiah going, and take up to 1 and then top deck or under deck. So, which is really nice if I have DOU in here, because I can start hiding souls with Throne of David. So, and that's always really nice to have. So Throne of David and Storehouse. Do I want to take a king? The only king I would have is Manessa. I feel like I already have enough right there to where I would benefit more from doing a reveal top 3 and take. So, because I especially don't really have a good block. So I would take Red Dragon. And you do have to show that. And do we keep delivered and wages on top or bottom? I don't necessarily care. I want wages to get to blasphemies, but oh well. And then we'll go to Storehouse, and now it's, do we want more protection? Do we want a negate for our Red Dragon, Judean Mediums? And Did God Really Say is so good on turn 2, getting to discard a good enhancement. Like if I play Did God Really Say, like I go to it early because of getting out Storehouse early and getting out and having wages to get out Did God Really Say as well. It's really good because yes, now I have a negate, but the earlier I can play this, the more options I have to your reserve. And that is you have to keep going first in mind, because after turn 1 you have access to your reserve before they do, because you got to go first, which is a huge advantage. If I can start generating resources really quick, like an additional 10 cards whenever I want, I have a massive advantage. And then they attack, and being able to hit their reserve early on and take away, their AOC, their impartial judgment, their first sacrifice, stuff like that. So, and remember, we as soon as we look in reserve, we can't go back to our hand. So I personally think, as people adjust to the rules that have been there for years, that it will force players to become actually better players. So, because there's so much leniency, we have Jehu going, we have Jeremiah. We're really going to want to just pop their hand and put pressure on them. So our upkeep's done. We're going to go straight to a first sacrifice and under deck an evil or neutral card in their hand. We're going to hit them with Jehu and Jeremiah. We need Joshua. So we have Joshua out. And no other searching prior to? Okay. So we have Joshua out, and now it's going to go Jehu to Joshua to David, Jehoshaphat, Zadok, Jeremiah. I can put Phineas in there if I want in the band, but I do like to keep a hero in my hand when I don't think it's needed. This is a massive swing. Like, just, it's so much pressure on the opponent. I get to get rid of something with Joshua. I get to get rid of something with Jehu. My dudes are protected. Temple Spears also really helps. I can bounce an evil character, which is nice to do if I have evil characters out that they're banding to. Book of the Law would be really good if I was playing Meek, but you want to bounce and have Book of the Law, so you force him to bounce or to attack from hand, and then you just keep generating resources again. So just Jehu to Joshua is phenomenal. Throw a weapon on him, and now we have protection with toss. Really putting pressure on their hands so early. This is it really is like the Jehu deck. It's just a different take on it. It wasn't my intentions. My intentions were to make a protected royalty ban with Jeremiah, but when you end it with Jeremiah over and over, and you're hitting him with Jehu Joshua, it's like you're pretty much just doing the Jehu band, or the Jehu deck, which is pretty much a Zerubbabel and Elliot. So rinse and repeat. Let's say we bounce their evil character or whatever. We would have Jehoshaphat Noah, put him in hand. And remember, if opponent's drawing based on your hand brigade, then you can go ahead and put down Noah in territory. So that's where we're at. If they draw, we're going to Foreign Wives them. If they draw a search, yeah, we would do Judean Mediums to Red Dragon. So I like having both. That's very difficult to get around because on turn 2, chances are opponent's going to do some sort of drawing or searching. Let's say they kill Judean Mediums though, but I had a CBN protected Red Dragon. All right, so no stars, no souls. We go straight to upkeep. We are going to want to look at the top 1, 2, 3 cards of deck and take one. Probably Mayhem here. We're going to try to drop hand, I think. Drop hand and draw and generate some souls, and then go to Storehouse. We can go to Coming Prince to First Sacrifice, but we don't have a way to get back First Sacrifice. And that's fine. I also like Coming Prince to Teaching and Parables because I get to, since Teaching and Parables isn't in the deck, it gives me a way to use that star ability. That's so good. So for Storehouse, I could take either Shields here to have a protected Jeremiah or a Royal Priesthood to have a protected Jeremiah. I'm going to go ahead and take Royal Priesthood, and now he will be protected through Temple Spears. And play a Site or Good Fortress from deck. I don't need that, but I don't want it back in my deck. So we'll play it down as an art. And I would play Son of God. We can put down Foreign Wives, or we could put her back to deck. Since we have Deceiver and we have Red Dragon out, I think it's okay if she goes back to deck. We have a really good attack and block, so it's not like we need to play Mayhem. I'm just assuming they're out of souls. And Mayhem's another good way to just constantly manipulate their hand. So here we are, and we did get into our second coming. We don't really have anything. See, offering your son is nothing. So that can come out. Okay, and we delivered into a Great White Throne, or a Blindness is kind of fun to mess with them. If they do search, they just get a random card. So strong. And then banish an evil card in discard pile. And you get to search deck for a hero. That's what I was saying, to where you can go to soul gen pieces. You may capture this hero to opponent's land bondage, take an idol, which is also amazing, and add your priest from territory. It's Just make sure you know where you're adding it from prior to, because we want to go Zadok to a tabernacle priest. So we're going to have to make sure our band's right prior to. And that means it goes Joshua to Jehu. So Joshua to Jehu, and Jehu exchanges to a non. That's where we would go to captive priest, and then captive priest would just bring in a priest from territory, and then I would go into everything from there. So we have mayhem and captive priest to generate souls, and we would attack with a massive band that hits their hand. That's most of it's protected. We're getting rid of cards in their territory through Joshua, through Jehu, their hand, adding protection that's also out of the battle, so they have to play and interrupt the battle and get around, and I still get the Jeremiah look. So that there's not really much when you're just going to cards like this and immediate pressure. Like that's turn 3, you know? So we just second coming back to Son of God. Captive priest is over there. Can we block? Not really. We have a deceiver to go to something, and I would look at my discard pile real quick to see what's in there. Yeah, we would pretty much just have to like throw a character out there, or ban 2 their character, or if they drew, go to deceiver. But I don't really have much of a block, so maybe the mayhem wasn't the right play. We don't know. Doesn't matter. We're gold fishing. And then the last attack, nothing again for stars, upkeep. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4 for Throne of David. And so I would get to look at the top 4, take, and then do I want to underdeck or top deck? This isn't obviously the right way to do it, but I don't necessarily care. We can just keep those at the top, go to reserve. Let's see, if they block you, you can kill anyone as well, hero or character. Get more protection. What would I take here? I really feel like I ban so much, I never need Mighty Men. I just like having a David target. But anyway, I guess we just take the more protection, slap it on one of them, and we could have more protection here as well. We could layer protection for all I care. And we would swing in with everyone. We could take Wages of Sin, go to reserve, get out Mist if we want, or we can get out a Negate, we can get out Lost Anointing, get out Gates of Hell. But that's it, people. You just keep going in. The only thing, I mean, yeah, I have 10 cards left in deck. I didn't have a way to Emmaus Road again. And I mean, we just put, you know, a search any, a battle winner in our Emmaus Road to get to Teaching in Parables. Just weird luck that it was on the bottom, but that's kind of what we're looking for. It's just constant hand pressure with Jehu and Jeremiah and protection, where you get to manipulate the opponent's hand. And every turn they're discarding something from their hand and having to toss an evil enhancement. And your first sacrifice in Teaching in Parable and Coming Prince just turns into battle winners, because either their character, they have no enhancements essentially to play in battle, or you just get rid of their cards that get through your protection. So really strong offense. Like I said, it just came out so quick. And it doesn't really seem like a fast deck, but there's just enough pieces in the deck that get out what I need. So really good consistency cards. So yeah, maybe David's Heart comes in, Offering Your Son might come out and bring Hopper in, try to get this down to 50 with Hopper. Probably take out Mighty Men, move something to reserve and go from there. maybe another battle winner. There used to be Out of Bethlehem, just for another interrupt discard. But since I'm doing so much hand manipulation, like just constant pressure, I would have to drop my hand a lot in order for Out of Bethlehem to work. But there could be some sort of red, purple, teal, green interrupt that I would use. The Old Testament that I can grab with Storehouse as a battle winner. But that's it. So rinse and repeat. Jehu, exchange, give everyone protection. They have to interrupt the battle, but you are constantly doing coming prince and teaching in parables. And if you're like, yeah, but you only have one or two heroes to play teaching in parables on, that's completely fine, because coming in prince can get back Noah if need to. Faith can get back Joshua and Noah. So you from discard pile, if they kill them and it's in your reserve, and you saw how quickly and easily I could pull out heroes. So 2 heroes for teaching in parables is just fine. But yeah, I hit their hand, get protection, toss what they're doing with Jeremiah, make Jeremiah protected as well, and you are good to go. Think that is all. Hope you all enjoy, and good luck in your upcoming regionals and states. See y'all.